Copyright disclaimer. Under Title 17 U.S.C. Section 107, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing nonprofit, educational, or personal use, tips a balance in favor of fair use. Okay, this is the second time I'm recording this because I forgot to hit a button. Suit allege Scientology Sweatshop by Gillian Flockus, published March 27, 2010. San Jacinto, California. At the edge of arid foothills far outside of Los Angeles, hundreds of Scientology followers live in a gated 500-acre campus and work long hours for almost no pay, reproducing the works of founder L. Ron Hubbard and convicted felon in creating the church's teaching and promotional materials, propaganda. The church says its 5,000 so-called Sea Organization members are religious devotees, that means mind control, akin to monks who are exempt from the wage requirements and overtime, to include children. But two lawsuits filed by two former Sea Org members, as they are known, allege the workers are little more than slave laborers, forced to work 100-hour weeks for pennies and threatened with manual labor if they cause trouble. Mark Headley and his wife Claire are seeking back pay and overtime that could add up to $1 million each, according to their attorney, Barry Van Sickle. Experts say the plaintiffs face an uphill battle. One similar lawsuit in state court has already been dismissed. Although the plaintiff plans to appeal, but the dispute is nonetheless focused unwelcome attention on the Sea Org, which operates as a nerve center for the church's most important business. While Sea Org members hold positions of authority within the international church, from the public relations team to the top leadership, low-ranking members make up much of the workforce, much of the slave labor, to include children. The members are Scientology's most devoted followers, the most mind-controlled. They sign a billion-year pledge, vow not to have children, and live and work communally. Scientology has been sued by disgruntled members. Disgruntled? Disgruntled? Oh, the slaves are not allowed to speak up, are they? But experts believe these suits are the first to use labor law to challenge the premise that the Sea Organization is akin to a fraternal religious order, like the Freemasons. A victory for plaintiffs would certainly go to the heart of Scientology's self-identification as a religion, said J. Gordon Melton, director of the Institute for the Study of American Religion and author of a scholarly book on Scientology. This is gobbledygook. If they were to win this suit and the people who are in the Sea Org decided they wanted money, that would lead to, if not the collapse, then a great deal of harm, he said. They depend on these people. Okay, now it makes sense. The first time I read it, it didn't make sense to me. That makes sense. Mark Headley devoted half his life to churning out the works of Scientology founder L. Ron Hubbard and convicted felon on an assembly line before working on in-house films, propaganda, and designing the audiovisual displays seen in Scientology churches worldwide. Headley, who claims he escaped the gated facility in 2005, says he and others were threatened with forced labor and psychological abuse if they caused trouble. Mind you, children are going through the same thing, and it doesn't seem like anybody's doing anything about it, except the Neverins and the second gens. These folks are working for a year or 2 or 3 in a row on an hour or 2 of sleep a night. They're zombies, Van Sickle said. If people had some money in their pockets or a good night's sleep, they probably wouldn't stick around. No, they wouldn't. But of course, the children don't have a choice, do they? The Church of Scientology vehemently denies the allegations and claims the plaintiffs are liars looking for money. Wow, that's all they got? When you sign up as a Sea Org member, you're signing up as a member of a religious order, like the Jesuits. Jessica Fesbach, a church spokeswoman and 16-year Sea Org member, said of the plaintiffs, "You're a volunteer. I knew they would say that. You sign a contract that says I'm not going to be paid minimum wage, and I know that." It's almost like when they say that stuff, it's like they're smirking and laughing like, well, you agreed to be a slave. Essentially, that's what they're saying. Headley's federal lawsuit, which alleges labor violations at the Hemet facility, Hemet cops are bought as well, is set for trial in November in Los Angeles. His wife, Claire, makes similar allegations, but also claims she was coerced into having an abortion to comply with the Sea Org members' no child policy. Van Sickle said, this is going to be a lie. Church officials say Sea Org members are not asked to have abortions, always deny, but must leave the order if they become pregnant. They're really pushing that religious thing, aren't they? The lawsuits are similar to unsuccessful claims filed by an ex-seminarian who left the Roman Catholic Church and sued for the minimum wage over menial labor, said Melton. The Scientology expert of federal appeals court last week upheld a finding that minimum wage law did not apply. Headley joined Sea Org at 16. Wonder why he was allowed to join at 16 and a lot of other ones joined at 8 or 9 years old. After being raised by Scientologist parents, he moved to the gated campus near Hemet in 1989. At first, he devoted himself to Hubbard's teachings, a blend of Eastern religion, alternative psychology, and management theory. Practitioners believe they can eliminate negative energy from past lives through study and auditing sessions that use electronic devices called e-meters to detect mental trauma. Adherents hope to attain a state called clear before becoming operating thetans or pure spirits. The Sea Org traces its roots to 1967 when Hubbard, who was also a science fiction writer, took his most dedicated followers on sea voyages to explore early civilizations and spread his teachings. He also was evading authorities. Its members, called ministers, they're pushing it, live communally and often wear maritime-style uniforms with ranks, otherwise known as impersonating the military or the officers. Headley, 36, says he began to question the religion while working for an average of 39 cents an hour to mass-produce cassettes that he says cost the church $1 to make, but sold for $75. He also helped make CDs and DVDs and the expensive e-meters used in auditing sessions before graduating to work on in-house film production, he says. In 15 years, he said he earned $29,000, a total he surpassed on his first year of business on his own. Church leaders who have labeled Headley as a heretic, they're really pushing the religion, aren't they? Dispute his story and say he was an incompetent troublemaker. Sea Org members happily receive room and board. Happily? Really? Does that include the children that are torn apart from their parents and forced to bunk with other children and do manual labor? Happily receive room and board, medical and dental care. I've never heard this as long as I've heard anybody coming out of Scientology that they have any kind of medical or dental insurance. I've heard most of them say that if they're on the poverty line, which a lot of them are, they have to apply for the state insurance, like Medi-Cal. A $50 week personal allowance, I've heard it's $47. You know, the Freemasonic number. 3 weeks of annual vacation, I have never heard this. Never. And free auditing is never free. And religious instruction for their lifetime devotion. Church officials said. Man, what a canned answer. Each day includes 2 hours of Scientology study and short meal breaks. That includes children. At Golden Era Productions, about 80 miles southeast of Los Angeles, a guard keeps watch at the compound's main gate. Inside, some 400 Sea Org members live in hotel-like dorms, modeled on Scottish Highland architecture, and eat in a log cabin-style cafeteria that features supersized bottles of multivitamins on each table. Everybody's taking all these vitamins, but so many people look so sickly. The grounds include a golf course, a large lake, and a network of paths. Oh, more propaganda. The facility is calm until the topic of Headley's come up. Okay, so the reporters are actually on their compound. And everybody's putting on a big show. That's what's happening. During an AP reporter's visit, which was videotaped and photographed by the church spokesman, Tommy Davis, one and only, repeatedly admonished the reporter for inquiring about Headley, because you're not supposed to be able to ask questions. Insane. And other detractors, why not call them defectors, whom he called terrorists for associating with Anonymous, a group that has targeted Scientology with protests and has hacked into the church's website. Anonymous was telling the truth. Headley, who has written a book about his experiences, said during a phone interview that he endured 24-hour surveillance. Children go through this too. Roll call 3 times a day. Children go through this too. And censored mail. Children go through this too. Sleeping quarters are watched at night. Children go through this too. Illuminated the campuses and escape routes were blocked during security drills. Children go through that too. The church denies that saying Sea Org members are free to come and go as they please. Lies. Headley said he decided to leave in 2005 after church officials accused him, this makes me laugh, of reselling old film equipment. Can you imagine this, you guys? Imagine this. They said they were going to begin investigating his actions and place him in a rehabilitation camp, the RPF. Davis said Headley embezzled more than $13,000, but they never filed suit against him or sought criminal charges. They always have to have something to blackmail, you know what I mean? Headley says he was given permission to sell old equipment on the internet and that he never stole anything. He claims he fled. This always makes me laugh. He claims he fled on a motorbike with $200, 2 days worth of clothes, and a cell phone. Security gave chase, but when Headley crashed his bike in a ditch, a passerby called 911, and sheriff's deputies arrived, he said. He thinks the officer scared off his pursuers, handlers, and prevented his recapture. You know that wouldn't happen with the LAPD. You know the LAPD is going to bring him right back. You know that. Headley's wife got out of Golden Era 2 weeks later by fleeing a minder, otherwise known as a handler, who had been sent with her to an off-campus doctor's appointment. Headley said she found her husband through an old email address he never shared with the church. There's no shortage of the things Scientology will do to silence their critics, said Headley, who now lives with his wife and 2 kids in Burbank, where he runs his own audio-visual installation business. Hopefully we can end this and other people won't have to suffer like I did, especially the children. So that's it, you guys. I will leave a link in the description box. Like and subscribe if you choose. Have an amazing day or night wherever you are. Peace.